Hey friends, James here from Untitled, back with another painting tutorial. Today we're doing Killik Camouflage. Now Killik Camouflage has a lot of popularity in the hunting and outdoor markets, so we're going to do it on a Mossberg 835 shotgun here that I used to use for bird hunting, and it's been in major need of a repair, so that's what we're going to do it on. It's a perfect candidate for this project. Now to save time in the video, we've already done the prep work and applied a base color. The base color I chose is Ergo Dark Earth. Now, if you want the colors to be dead on with this pattern, you may have to do some custom mixing, but I'm going to try to keep it as standardized as possible, so I went with Ergo Dark Earth for this particular coat. Now, the stencil pack in the video, as always, is available on our stencil website, freedomstencils.com. The link is in the description below. This is 6 sheets for the rifle pack, and there's a few different shapes in this pattern. There's the splotchy shapes, a couple of serpentines, and then there's the dot pattern. Now the dot pattern we'll talk about more in a second, and that's sheets 5 and 6 of the pack, but I want to talk about the splotchy shapes as well real quick. You'll notice if you study the pattern that there are overlapping shapes, the gray, dark grayish black color. So I did that on sheets 1 and 2 where we have small shapes with matching larger shapes, where sheets 3 and 4 don't have that. And we'll cover this more in a second, but when you lay out your pattern, be cognizant of that you're grabbing the appropriate one, whether it's the small or the large of the same shape. Now, mention the dots. This is a 5-color pattern, and one of the colors, the brown, is reoccurring. It's as a splotch and as a matching sets of dots. So we're going to actually apply this in 6 steps. So we'll be revisiting the brown twice. It'll come back at the end and we'll do the dots. These dot patterns are laid out on sheets 5 and 6, and it will be reverse stenciled at the end. Now, reverse stenciling isn't something we've done a lot on this channel. It's something I tend to avoid, but it is pertinent for this particular pattern, and I'll take you through that step when we get there. So just note that we will be revisiting the brown twice. So go ahead and do your prep work, apply your base color, Ergo Dark Earth, and then I'll start taking you through laying out the pattern with these shapes so that you can kind of understand better what I'm talking about. Okay, so our first color is Kier, and now we're going to start doing some stenciling. As I mentioned earlier, the sheets 5 and 6, the dot pattern won't be used until the very end, so I'm just going to go ahead and set those off to the side right now. Now, I want to start with some of the overlapping shapes, so I'm going to use sheets 1 and 2 and just pick a couple of these shapes. We're not looking for a lot of coverage, just a couple shapes on each side randomly placed, and be cognizant of the shape that you're using, because again, we're going to use the overlapping one later. So we'll use a couple off of these sheets, and then we'll fill in just 1 or 2 randomly off of the other sheets that will not be overlapped. Okay, now that our stencils are on, it's time to apply our second color. The second color is German Flecktarn Gray, but if you want it to be really accurate and give it that purplish hue that you see in the clothing, then you'll want to add a little bit of lilac purple. We're going to add about 30% purple to gray ratio. All right, with our second color Kier, we're going to apply more stencils, again focusing on sheets 1 through 4 just like we previously did, and we're going to set these stencils in areas where we don't already have stencils. Okay, we got our second set of stencils on. Now it's time to apply the third color. The third color is going to be Desert Mirage Brown. Okay, our third color is here. We're gonna go ahead and do some more stenciling. This will be exactly like the prior two stencil steps where we're using sheets 1 through 4. And again, we're focusing on the smaller shapes from the sets on sheets 1 and 2. Okay, now that we got all our stencils in place, it's time to apply our next color, and that is going to be So Calm. Next, we'll apply our last set of positive stencils. On sheets 1 and 2, we left all the larger shapes that correspond to smaller shapes, so we're going to set those to overlap. We also have some of the serpentine type shapes left from sheets 3 and 4, and we'll just kind of set those in randomly at the end. Okay, with our stencils in place, we're going to hit this thing with some Air Force Tan. Okay, so we're on to our final step, and in this step we're going to be doing the dots that you see in the pattern. This is with the Desert Mirage Brown that we used before, and we're going to reverse stencil this. So these are from sheets 5 and 6 of the pattern. We're going to be taking these pieces out and leaving the dots and the outer border behind. So one thing I like to do is actually take one of my pre-existing sheets and weed it off so I have kind of the wax paper that I can stick these to so that they're reusable a couple times over, and I can just kind of vary them throughout the surface. So let's go ahead and weed that out and get some of these ready to go. To weed these, just simply grab the shape, peel it right off. It'll leave a lot of the dots behind. And then you're gonna wanna dumb the surface down anyways, so stick it to your tech mat or to your table surface so you can plunge out the remaining shapes that stay with your stencil until you've got it free and clear, and then you can go stick it to your wax backing. Do another one here, peel it off. Okay, now that our stencil's prepared, we're ready to apply the Desert Mirage Brown. We'll use these shapes and just kind of place them in open areas throughout the pattern randomly and just spray through them to fill in those dots with the brown. Now a little quick tech tip is to use some masking tape and extend the borders of your stencil a little bit just to eliminate the possibility of overspray. So let's go ahead and apply some dots. Next, we'll remove our stencils and reveal the pattern. Alright, so that's how you paint Killik Camouflage. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Check us out on social media. All those links are in the description below. This is James from Untactical, reminding you to live free, but if you must die, die with your boots on.